And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fifth and final segment, which is going to be talking about some general news stories around the league, just some transaction-related stuff that I wanted to talk about and give my 2 cents on that I thought were notable and important. Just going to update the text here for the stream and video people watching. So there you go. That was not there for some reason, so thank you. But so the first thing I did want to talk about was Victor Robles. Now, Victor Robles, I made a short about this yesterday as well, so if you want to check out that, please go ahead. It's on the YouTube channel, GSMC Sports Network. He was DFA'd by the Nationals after a long career there with Washington, being their center fielder for a number of years, being one of the main pieces of that World Series run in 2019. Now, this is a big change for the Nationals, I'd say. You look at Robles, he was a guy that was a big part of their young core for a long time, was hailed as one of the kind of saviors for this Nationals franchise, and honestly never really got it going. Was always a guy that was defense first, never really found his way with the bat. Always just did really good with the glove, but never found his way with the bat. Never found his way to be the hitter that the Nationals expected him to be. And DFAing him, I think it maybe signals one of the final end of this old Nationals team back in 2019, 2020, 2021, and focusing into the more younger core of this team. Guys like James Wood, guys like Dylan Cruz, of course C.J. Abrams already, who's made his mark, Mackenzie Gore, people like that. So I think it was kind of a little bit of a passing of the torch, DFAing the older guy who never really found his way within the league and was a big part of their core, and going into the younger generation of this Nationals team now. There's a lot to like here if you're a Nationals fan. A lot of good players that I think are going to end up doing really, really well, and really excited to watch them, honestly. Really excited to end up seeing this Nationals team for the future and end up seeing what could happen with this team. It'd be interesting to see if Robles does land anywhere. I think that he does provide a lot of value off the bench, being a late-game defensive replacement, being a speed guy. I think any team that could use some outfield depth or just pinch runner depth or fielding depth, I think would be a good fit. Again, I'm going to mention him and the next guy I'm going to talk about as well with the Braves. I think the Braves could use an outfielder right now. I think getting Robles would be a good fit because he has good speed, something the Braves need to work on his defense, especially with Acuna. He was not the greatest defender, so with him being out, maybe take advantage of that and get obviously there's no benefits to Acuna being out, but maybe you can fill in at least defensively because he was not good in the outfield this year defensive-wise. So getting one of the premier defenders in our league in Victor Robles, I think would be a really good decision for the Braves and would end up bringing a lot to this team. So that should be interesting. But interesting situation here for the Nationals. DFAing Victor Robles, finally getting him off this roster, and new era for the Nationals. Even I'm a Mets fan, I'm excited to watch it. Just as a baseball fan, I'm excited to watch it. I love a lot of these players they have. I think James Wood and Dylan Cruz are absolute monsters, are going to be top 30 players in baseball by third year in the leagues, by the third year their careers, honestly. I love both these players. I think they're absolutely outstanding, and I'm kind of jealous they have them. So, going to be very, very interesting to see, and very, very interesting to end up watch both these players and watch this Nationals young core develop. Ramon Laureano, another guy I made a short on yesterday. If you want to check it out, go ahead. It's on the channel. He was released by Cleveland after a year and a half with the organization. Filled in for a starting outfielder spot with them for the past 2 years. Never really found his way. You could say the same thing about his last few years in Oakland as well. Was a really good player for those A's teams that were trying and making the playoffs. Ended up getting suspended for PEDs. Was really never the same after that for whatever reason. I don't know. Could have been an injury. Could have been him not being on the juice and not being as good of a player. I'd say that's possible. Could have been that long gap of 80 games and really didn't really hit him hard. Could have been that, but just really never found his way with Oakland after that 80-game suspension. Never found his way with Cleveland, and they are DFAing him, and he is going to end up being released, I think. Now, I think there are a lot of fits for Ramon Laureano. I think he brings good outfield depth. Again, I think the Braves could use him. I I think that he could be a good fit for this team. I don't think he can be worse than JP Martinez, who they called up from AAA. Not JD, JP. I want to make that clear so you're not confused. It was confusing to me when I first said it. I knew about JP Martinez already, but JP, JD, both in the same division. Both outfielders, quote unquote, even though JD isn't really one. But yeah, so I think that he could potentially be used by the Braves here. I think a lot of other teams needing outfield or corner depth could use Laureano. One thing that's always been great about him is his arm strength. He has one of the best arms in baseball, if not the best. He can gun runners down from right field. Defense isn't that bad as well. He hits lefties okay. So I think there is some value here with Laureano. I just think with the Guardians having a lot of good younger bats that have kind of come out of nowhere, there just wasn't a spot in this roster for him. But I think there are other ways. There are other teams that could use him in different ways as well, particularly off the bench. I think he brings a lot of value there. So it should be interesting to see, and should be an interesting thing to watch, see where Laureano does end up getting to in free agency, and seeing if anyone does sign him, even to a minor league deal. We'll see. I think someone should, and it's going to be an interesting situation to watch here. Nick Lodolo has been activated off the injured list for the Reds after a groin strain let him out for a good amount of games. He came back through 5 1/3 innings pitched, giving him no runs. So really good job by him. Really good job there. I think Lodolo is one of the better pitchers in baseball when healthy. I think that he provides a lot of great depth to this Reds rotation. I think he does a really good job for this team, and really, really is a great pitcher for them. And with them really not performing up to the standard I and a lot of people expected them to this year, I expected them to win the Central. They're last in it. They've been hit hard with injuries, yes, but I think that's really no excuse. Some of your players have to perform better. I think Lodolo coming back, if he can perform better, if he can start performing up to Lodolo I know, and make this Reds team a lot better, I'd be very, very interested to watch, and I want to see them do that. I love this Reds team. I think they're really, really great, and hopefully getting Lodolo off the injured list is one of the first big steps for this team to kind of get back to the team that we all know, we all love, this Reds team, and doing a really great job. So that's what I'm hopeful for, and that's what I do want to end up seeing here. Lastly, we have MLB teams getting prepared for Roki Sasaki. Now, a report came out over the weekend, I believe, that MLB teams were getting prepared for Japanese phenom Roki Sasaki to finally come over and be posted by his team in the MPB. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to. I think if you don't know who Roki Sasaki is, just look up his highlights on YouTube. Honestly, this guy is a pitcher in his early 20s who goes 100 consistently with insane control, insane off speed, is honestly better than you thought. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was good. Well, this guy's even better. He really is. I mean, this guy really just is incredible. I think that overall he is one of the future of baseball. And it's been rumored now for a year or so that he would be posted by his MPB team because he really wants to go to the major leagues. I'm not exactly sure if he's going to end up being signed with international money or just be a flat-out free agent. I'm not sure of the contract situation. If he does end up becoming a flat free agent, he could get a 15-year contract, honestly, how good this guy is. So Sasaki being posted, the team's planning for him to be posted, is something that I think is a really big story that should be talked about more. And I'm very interested to see this. And when we do end up getting confirmation if he is going to be posted or not, believe me, it'll be a segment. I love this guy. I think he's a really great player. And I think that overall he is going to be a future face of this league and is a really, really good player. So excited to watch him for the future and excited to see what team he does end up landing on this offseason if he is posted, which I think he will be. So that is it for our show today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Not only get notified when I upload, when all the other great content creators on this channel do. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. It's a beautiful day outside. Enjoy it. And we'll see you at Baseball Sports Us tomorrow. Thanks, guys, and bye.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go